Okay, so here we are. In a previous video I told you about the DeWalt chainsaw that I had to return. I got it on Amazon because it was the only place I could find it locally, so it ended up failing for numerous reasons. Took it back, shipped it back UPS to Amazon or whomever. Still waiting on a refund for that. That same day I made a video talking about having to go cut some wood up on our property here for firewood, and I still got a bunch of logs, 8-foot logs back behind this pile here to cut, because that same day I made that video talking about my steel chainsaw being my main one, whatever, blah blah blah. Well, guess what? It failed that same day. About 5 minutes after making that video, it would no longer cut. It started blowing white smoke. We've already changed the carb on it once, and now we believe, or at least I believe, it's got a couple issues. I think it's got probably a blown gasket in there somewhere because it's overheating, and I think the clutch probably needs to be replaced because, you know, I give it some gas and it completely hesitates. I've adjusted the carb several times. The low end, it just has no acceleration, and you put it down onto a log and it refuses to cut. Blade is brand new, the chain is brand new, so I had to go the next day and pick up a Husqvarna chainsaw. This is the 120 Mark II, and let me tell you the story about this. This is the last one of these pretty much in the state. I had ordered one of these a long time before I bought the DeWalt, and when it came in, I ordered it on Amazon because these were out of stock everywhere, and it came in, refused to stay running, and it was leaking oil everywhere, so I had to return it. I ended up getting the DeWalt, which I just returned on Friday, a few days ago, the same day that the steel decided to stop working on me. So went and bought this one. Turns out this one was a display, so it didn't come with a box or anything like that. Had somebody who has this same one, who was the one that recommended it to me before, who also had the same problems with the Husqvarna not running properly, and they returned their first one, got a second one, runs great. So he showed me how to run this one. This one actually stayed running. I did one test cut with it, so hopefully it will fire back up when I go to cut some more logs over there. But lo and behold, can't really tell, but that paper towel is soaked in oil. It is leaking bar and chain oil out the wazoo. Unfortunately, there's no gauge on this chainsaw to monitor the oil. You have to open it up and find out, but I can tell you with how much oil I put in there, it's all drained out. And this has been sitting here for 2 days. So, I rather a running but leaking chainsaw than a not running and leaking chainsaw. So we'll see how this turns out, but upon first impressions, it's got a different start than what I'm used to on the steel. It did cut pretty smooth. It's about as heavy as my steel is. Now keep in mind, my steel is also an 18-inch bar. This is a 14-inch bar. I was looking for the 16, but 14 was all that was in stock, so I went ahead and got this one. I can upgrade to a 16 or an 18 later on if I choose, but the 14 was working just fine. You know, I just may have to make multiple passes or cuts on my logs that I have left. We may get a battery powered one to take back in the woods, so you don't have to fiddle with gas and oil and all that stuff back in the woods on the tractor. And now I was telling you before in the previous video, I was looking at Cobalt or going to Harbor Freight, but because of the difficulties I'm having with chainsaws, I'm probably going to go to a brand that has a decent warranty and customer service reputation, referring to bypassing Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight's usually, off-brand, whatever. I was looking at the Atlas, but it's mixed reviews on the Atlas chainsaws, which are battery powered, and I don't want to deal with a foreign country as far as warranty work and whatnot. So that said, I am actually looking at going to Ryobi. I have a Ryobi weed whacker over there. I've got a Ryobi battery, Ryobi charger. They make a 40-volt chainsaw and a 16-inch, which is supposed to be decent, which is all I need for cutting limbs and stuff back in the woods. But anyway, so we've got some split wood. We've got wood to be split. And back there, this is all the 8-foot logs left I have to cut. And you can see that's probably a 2-foot diameter log right there up on top. So it's going to take me quite a while to get through it with that little 14-incher. But it should do the job. If not, I'm going to have to plug in the corded chainsaw that we use in the back for a period of time that we got from Harbor Freight. Leaks oil like a sieve, but at least it fires up because it's electric. So all in all, that's what we have left to cut, and we'll be done for the year. And over here is our stack of wood right here. This is our mountain of wood that we've cut the past couple of weeks. So now we're taking that and we're stacking it on some pallets back behind the barn here. So that's what we're working on. Disaster hopefully averted with the chainsaw. Hopefully this Husqvarna, which has readily accessible parts, will be the new workhorse. But time will tell. We're going to try and get the steel figured out and get it fixed up. And if this one works out, this one here, this Husqvarna 120 Mark II, if this one turns out to be the workhorse, we will probably try and sell the steel and go with Husky. So, alright, well, just kind of an update on the chainsaw situation. On to the next.